I'm all alone. There's no one
There's no one
here
here
beside me.
beside me. Oh. I cannot be trusted. That is upside down. Inversion Mayhem, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I've prepared a selection of questions for you. Question number one. What do you think is the best roller coaster in Europe right now and why?
Personally, I think that Zadra is the best roller coaster in Europe. Initial drop and just the elements and the inversions was just absolutely incredible. But it's a tough one, to be honest with you, because I really like the Ride to Happiness. I feel like that's a really, really good roller coaster, especially if you're sitting at the back. It's amazing our initial launch and then obviously going over the top and then dropping down depending on whether you drop backwards, forwards. You get some real good, air time and it's just immense, absolutely immense.
Most people would agree with you in terms of tying or at least having Zadra and Ride to Happiness very close. I'm interested to know, given that you've ridden both, how does the kind of re-rideability kind of affect the two rides?
Yeah, that's the thing with Ride to Happiness. Every ride is completely different. So, yeah, on that, in them terms of things for a different ride experience, Ride to Happiness would probably be my go-to. But just as obviously my favorite it is Zadra, purely because it's the first RMC roller coaster I've rode and I just found it absolutely amazing. And the elements and all. But yeah, like you said, the Ride to Happiness is just so unique. Being an extreme spinning coaster, every ride is completely different. It doesn't matter what row you sit in, where you're sat. It's a completely different ride every time I rode it.
Zadra, by comparison, is such an imposing structure, isn't it? It's basically just like a castle of wood and steel. It's fantastic.
It's just a masterpiece to look at, especially when it was snowing as well. To look at, obviously, I put up some pictures on my channels, etc. But to look at was just absolutely amazing. To see it running in the snow and like in -4 and 3 is just incredible.
Next question. What's the biggest difference that you notice between European parks and UK parks?
I feel like the European parks are better operated. When I travel around Europe, I don't seem to see much downtime, so the rides seem to be operating well. Like we spent 3 days in Poland, and I did not see one roller coaster go down. They had roughly 17 or 18 roller coasters actually operating that time of year, including Hyperion, and I didn't want to see any of those rides go down. The queues were on zero. I find the queues are better in European parks. I absolutely love the UK theme parks, but it just seems like the operations in Europe are a lot better, and everything's more organised, and it just feels better for me. We really enjoy the European parks, but it's our first year of going to apart from Port Aventura, which we've been to for the last like 5 or 6 years. But expanding out the European parks now is just amazing. The main thing for me is operations, and just everything seems to stay up and running all day long. Sort of going from one side and then that's closed, and then the other side and that's closed. But I mean, I get it with the UK, the weather system is a little bit different, so that could obviously affect the rides. But yeah, ultimately the best thing for me with European parks is everything seems to just stay up and running no matter what.
I've noticed that actually especially when you're comparing European parks to the UK, there's a real heavy reliance on like arcades and like coin pushers and claw machines and stuff. Whereas if you go to places like Disneyland or Phantasialand, correct me if I'm wrong, when I was there, I didn't see a single arcade. I didn't see any kind of like sides shows or just kind of any cash grabs or anything like that. It's very much about the experience and trying to sell you additional experiences as opposed to kind of half-baked, cheap, gimmicks.
With Energyland, I think I've seen one arcade and it was literally really, really small. But like you say, you go to UK theme park and there's arcades everywhere, grab machines. But you seem to go abroad, and not so much Thorpe Park, but it's quite condensed because Thorpe Park is quite condensed. But you've got Alton Towers and the rides quite far between. But when you go to like Port Aventura World, it seems to just be ride after ride after ride. And they got, I feel like they got a wider variety of rides as well. And I also, with certain rides, the same ride type in UK would be better in Europe for some reason. For example, Telecan at Phantasialand, I feel is much better than Toxicator. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Toxicator. Always go on it every time I go out on towers. But I find Toxicator is 3 or 4 spins, whereas Telecan, you get more spins, you've got a fire up roll. It just seems
Power.
like yes, it's tuned up. It feels like it's tuned up. Yeah.
Definitely. The cycle's far, far more aggressive, I think. At least, but you know, in my opinion.
Telecan, and I was like, oof. Whereas Toxicator, not so much. But I love Toxicator. I love that they brought that back to Alton Towers, you know, and reimagined it and sort of made it fit in Forbidden Valley with Nemesis. So yeah, it's brilliant regardless.
Let's see one. Let's see one again at Chessington. Ramesses Revenge Mark II.
That'd be
Love to see
amazing,
it.
wouldn't it?
Next question. What is a European park that does something the UK just doesn't, at least not yet, as far as, you know, an experience?
I noticed in Angelandia, what they do is with the photos. So obviously you get a wristband, and obviously you can pay for a 2-day pass and you get digital photos. Well, they give you the wristband, but it's not one you just rip off and chuck away. So obviously you can keep that as you know, a bit of memorabilia. And another thing I find as well is when I went to the one theme park, which is Angelandia again, actually. You pay for lockers and literally you've got a band on, you scan your locker, the locker opens, you put your stuff in there, then obviously you go on the ride, you come back around, and then you put your wrist with the thing, with the, you know, the tag, and it opens up the other end, and you pretty much got that on every ride. And I just feel, and obviously we haven't got that in the UK, and I just feel it just made so much of a difference because you can just put your bag in there, you can put everything you need in there, so you don't got no loose articles. And then after the ride, then you come around the other side of the locker and you retrieve it back. And it's so simple. It's all done digitally with a tag. And again, it's a tag that you can keep.
Yeah, it's kind of like a small cost to the parks, and it's a real, you know, what's it called? Ease of life change, really, isn't it?
Yes,
For the guests.
Definitely. So I would like to see that in the UK parks in the future, hopefully.
What is a ride that could only exist in Europe? So you could stick it over in the States, perhaps, and it just wouldn't work.
I feel a right happiness, maybe, or Hyperion. I love Hyperion, especially because obviously it's in a cold country, Poland. Coming when we was arriving into the park itself, they were testing like way before we was actually allowed in, and it was just absolutely amazing, you know, seeing the ice and the snow. And also, I don't think rides like Hyperion, Zadra would fit well in other countries as hasn't got that cold weather and as that snow. To go on a roller coaster in the snow is just something else. So I think Hyperion, Zadra, you can replicate or sort of move that into another country. I think it's perfectly sat in Poland.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
What is a European park that's changed how you plan park trips? That's been that impactful?
I would say Efteling. Basically because it was the first. Well, saying that actually no, Portaventura was our first one, but obviously that was as part of a holiday, you know, with the sun, etc. We had Ferrari Land there, the water park was there as well, so we sort of got everything in one place. And then you've got the beach side of things, which I'm not much of a beach lover. I'll just probably end up 7 days in the theme park. But yeah, Efteling, I think when we went there, first of all, realizing how easy it is once you get from Dover to obviously Calais, navigating obviously to Efteling, to Phantasialand, to Plopsaland, and all the parks around there. So easy to navigate through. It's like 2 hour journeys between each park. So I think Efteling, is the main reason why, and I enjoy road trips so much, especially going around Europe.
If you were sending a UK theme park fan to Europe for the first time, which park would you choose and why?
It would be Energylandia, just because of the sheer volume of roller coasters there, the politeness of staff. I mean, he was asking for front row, back rows, never an issue. The operations are top notch. I mean, the ride Zadra, you wouldn't have to walk all the way back around. They'd have like a side gate so you could like sort of jump back in, so you don't have to trail all the way around. It was just absolutely amazing. And at Christmas time, it is absolutely insane. What they do is, obviously there's a Christmas tree by the entrance, and they count down from 10 in Polish and English. And then after, when it gets to 0, then the Christmas tree lights up, and then all the shutters to the theme park open. And then as you walk through, then they just spray snow all over you, and it just feels absolutely magical. And for somebody who loves roller coasters, it's such a massive offering there. There's so much there. It's absolutely amazing. It's my favorite theme park at the moment, definitely. So if somebody would ask me which theme park to go to at the moment, it would be Energyland. Yeah.
And tell, what's your prized item, theme park merch or ride item to show and tell us?
So it'll be my Nemesis Bolt. I absolutely love my Nemesis Bolt. Reason being is because Nemesis was actually my first ever major roller coaster, the original Nemesis. So obviously when we were there on opening day and we seen them in the Nemesis shop, obviously the new shop dome, which was pretty much next to the roller coaster restaurant. As soon as I see the Bolt, I was like, I'm getting that, 100% getting that, because this has been like the part of Nemesis was the part of me that sort of got loving roller coasters, got me into them. It fought my fear because, believe it or not, up until the age of 20, I was actually scared of heights, terrified of heights. So I forced myself on Nemesis. The first time I did not open my eyes once, and I sort of built from then. And yeah, that's just having a Nemesis original Bolt is just amazing. Like every time a mate comes around, I'm just like, come and have a look at this. So
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
Really good, really good.
It is.
I've got a Toxicator can of beer from
Nice.
And another thing I got is a bit of Rita cable as well, which I like.
Nice. Nice.
Okay.
Love that.
So this is my Nemesis bolts. So I bought the double one.
Nice.
So the official ones, as you can see, it's aged and rusted. So yeah,
very cool.
that is my favorite bit of merch. Absolutely love it. Nemesis is probably my favorite UK ride. I absolutely love Hyperia. Don't get me wrong. Hyperia for thrill is my favorite, but Nemesis has just got that nostalgia of taking me back years ago to when I first started going into being a roller coaster adrenaline junkie, and yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah,
I think Nemesis is probably one of the only rides that is still a success story from its time. I mean, obviously it's been retracked and whatnot, but in terms of from its initial inception to now, it's just been constantly a hit at Alton Towers, isn't it? Really.
I feel they've done a really good job at first when he closed it and it come out. I was like, I was not sure about this, but it's grown on me, and I just love the fact that obviously the track, the way it's been hand painted by 3 individual local lads from Staffordshire, it just amazes me. And I do absolutely love the new theme, and especially the eye. The eye is just absolutely amazing. Yeah. And when the ride breaks down as well, the eye actually shuts, and I just find it so fascinating that they've revamped a legendary Alton Towers ride, and they've kept it alive for us, and they've made it sort of a lot. I think it looks better personally now.
It's an upgrade that's still faithful to the original.
Yes, definitely, 100%. And I just got my utmost respect for John Wardley for keeping that alive as well. I've met him a few times, so yeah, he's one of my legends. I've got his books as well, so I've read him a few times. So yeah, nice. Thank you to John Wardley for keeping everything special. All the stuff he's done for Alton Towers has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Yes. So, Inversion Mayhem. What's the plan for the future? What's coming up? But also, I'm interested to know how the channel came about. What's the kind of history? Basically,
the channel, it actually started 4 or 5 years ago. We lost our dog, so when my son was born, we obviously got a dog and we moved together, me and my wife. And the dog passed away at 10 years old, and it was like on my days, do you know what I mean? Because obviously when you've got a dog, you're tied down, you can't travel. Going abroad is quite difficult because I didn't like putting in my kennels. So I decided to just get a Merlin pass, and I literally just started going every weekend. And I remember back 4 years ago, there was a guy I was in the queue with in a single rider, and he was actually had his own channel. And I thought, hang on a sec, let's just start documenting what I'm doing. So we sort of had the channel for a year and a half, which I sort of let it grow. But then we had 2 years then where we had some family issues, difficulties, what have you, so we didn't document a lot. But the start of 2025, then we started getting back out, videoing, doing what we got to do, enjoying working with some parks, collaborating, stuff like that. And the plans for 2026 is to visit parks that we haven't visited, for example, Park Asterix and Wallaby Belgium. So I'm very excited to visit them. And I'm also excited to visit more, go back to the Efteling, Plopsaland, and all of the other parks. Thorpe Park, we went to the press night for Halloween Fright Nights last year because we absolutely love that. It's one of our favourite places in the UK for Halloween. And to be there on press night was just mind-boggling. It just didn't feel real. But to be given that chance to do the scare mazes, to be able to film in the scare mazes, and obviously share that with my followers and family, friends, etc. It's just fantastic opportunities.
Right. So lots of exciting things coming up for you guys for 2026 then.
Yeah, very busy, but very exciting.
Good. Well, Ross, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and have a wonderful day.
That's no problem. Thank you very much.
Big thank you to Ross for hopping in. Who would you like to see next?